Today we have the biggest sub that Kicker makes, of course the SoloX 15, and we are going to be seeing what does it take to blow this guy, absolutely obliterate it, send it up in smoke, woo! And how easy is it to install one of their field-ready Recone kits? Let's get into it. What is going on? Excited to be bringing y'all part 2 of the just review and overall test out of the KICKER'S SoloX 15. Now, of course, in part 1, we went over all the specs. I went over all the normal tests. I'll give you a quick rundown. This guy is rated, say, between 1,000 to 2,000 watts RMS. We got a high temp 3-inch coil, over 30 millimeters of X-Max, frequency response range of, I believe, 20 to 100 hertz. A beautiful design that you're only going to see on a Kicker sub. Of course, we've got the square cone custom basket. Big old beautiful motor down here. Now, in the test I did, we got really, really good scores. Some of the best scores I've had out of a single sub on the channel. Not bad, 147.4. This thing took pretty big bursts. We were only able to get up to about 3,500 watts, so nothing crazy. But it did handle it fine, didn't tear out spiders, no mechanical issues. And then we did my normal brutal RMS test, which is, of course, running this guy free-aired at 40 hertz at its RMS power. My goal is normally to get these things to 3 minutes, see if they'll make it through. This guy, I did it for 5 minutes, and it made it through no problems. Hey, look at that, 5 minutes. I started out at 1,500 watts, but it kept going so strong that I kept bumping it up. By the time we were at the end of the 5 minutes, I had it up to 2,200 watts, and it was still going strong. And since then, I've been bumping around with it in the car, and it works just fine. No issues whatsoever. So far, of course, this thing has had top-tier performance. It does what it says it's going to do, and goes above and beyond. But that being said, guys, any sub has got failing points. Any sub is going to blow if you put enough power to it. So in this video, we're going to be pushing this guy extremely hard to see what it takes to send it up in smoke. Now again, guys, if you missed the last video, the really incredible thing about these guys, 1, they perform well, but 2, they have field-ready Recone kits. What that means is if you're out in the field, you're at a competition, you're at a base show, and you blow a sub, hey, you're not toast, you're not done for the day. All you gotta do, pull the sub out, take out 8 screws around the surround. Take out another 8 screws on the spider plate. Pop the old cone out. Drop your Recone right in. Screw it back down. And you're back in business. No fancy tools. No gluing. No guesswork. Just simple, straightforward, and fast. I am so excited to see how this thing does. But hey guys, I guess we gotta load it back up in the box in the Sequoia and get the testing. Real quick, guys, before we get into the testing, I, of course, gotta give a huge thank you to Alfred Audio for sponsoring the channel. They, of course, the owners of Deathbonts and Avatar. Quick word from them, then back to the video. That's right, guys, another brand that has done incredibly well in all the testing that I have done is, of course, Deathbonts and Avatar. Their subs that I have done make it through the brutal test that I put them through. They sound incredible, just absolute beasts. For example, this Deathbonts 4512R over here, guys, took over 4,000 watts non-stop for 5 minutes. This thing is one heck of a beast. It's over 100 pounds. The shipping box at 130, which is just crazy. They, of course, have tons of awesome amps as well. I have review videos on the channel showing off all their new full bridge amps, their new line of half bridge amps, the sport line. I've done tons of testing. That is what I run for my mids and highs in my car. And, of course, I have their 9.5K hooked up on the test bench, which I use in most of my videos as well. They also have some of the best speakers out there. If you've ever heard the Apocalypse Arnold speakers, you'll know what I'm talking about. These things absolutely scream, and the quality is just unmatched. This is, of course, the Neo version over here, so we have a much smaller motor. If you get the non-Neo version, guys, y'all, the ferrite motor on those things is like is huge, absolutely massive. Of course, with this guy, you get the same performance, but you take up way less space and way less weight as well, which is important if you're running a bunch of these in your doors. Y'all, go check out Alfred Audio, of course, link in the description below. Really appreciate them for sponsoring the channels, for helping out with the builds, for just being a huge part of this channel and really allowing me to do a lot of the things that I do here. So once again, thank you. Go check them out. Now back to the video. All right, she is in. And as you saw in the last video, this sub is very, very broken in. It's ready to go. So, hey, let's get the bumping and seeing what we can do. Well, guys, we've had our first casualty, and unfortunately it's not the sub. Once again, broken the trunk on this guy. I broke this latch numerous times. Being broken means I gotta climb over the subs, climb down in there, and pop off the panel and manually open it. What a pain. Alright guys, it sounds like on that last song, maybe we tore out the spider. It's not sounding good. We'll play a little more just to make sure, but I think we've pushed this guy to the max. Oh, yeah. Guys, spider definitely must be gone, so there's no point in continuing with this. It just sounds absolutely terrible in there. So next up, let's get the sub out and examine it. So, of course, to do that, it's going to take a little bit of work. All right, we got to climb over this without damaging anything. Oh, this is fun, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hey, at least we have kind of room to work back here this time. Okay, I think we gotta start. Well, let's see what we can do. Okay, we gotta pull this side off. That should let us pull the top off. Oh. Gotta pull this off. Oh, we got the wrong size. All right, it's a 10 millimeter, of course. Pop that off. Then hopefully I can get in under here. Maybe. Okay. We're getting there. Sorta. Oh, I hate doing this. Okay. If I don't keep this guy on, all this stuff back here rattles and just doesn't sound good at all, so that's why I leave it on, but man, it sure is a pain. Okay, we can reach down here and we can push this, and then we're free. Well, we got it open, so let's go ahead and pull this guy out, assess the damage, and show y'all how easy it is to recone these things. All right, with an initial inspection, guys, this thing looks fine. Let's test on the coils real quick. All right, this guy's sitting at 2 ohms like it should. And this guy's sitting right at 2 ohms as well. Hey, well, the coil made it through, and everything looks fine just from me looking at it, so we're gonna have to pop this cone off to see what the damage is. Even though the sub is technically broken, not 100% usable, it still is technically not blown, and Kicker did say they wanted me to see what it took to blow the coil, so hey, that's, I guess, what we're gonna do. We're gonna hook it up to my test bench, run, of course, 40 hertz test tone through it as hard as we can. I think this thing is gonna smack and be bottoming out like crazy, but hey, we'll see how long it makes it and what it takes to blow the coil. All right, we've got this set up on 40 hertz. We, of course, got the SMD meter over here, so you can see how much power. Got the timer over here, so we'll see how long this thing makes it. Let's get it. Smoking, but she's still going. Woo! Oh man, look at that. We made it just over a minute, kept it above 3,000 watts. Yes, sir, that smoked her. Yo, look at the pillar of smoke. Woo! Coming off of this thing, that is stinky. Now, first off, again, we kept it above 3,000 watts, up to 3,500 watts, and two, this sub had been pushed really, really hard. Probably would have made it longer if we hadn't already done all the other tests, which it made it through. But oh my goodness, guys. Wow. All right, we've got the amp unplugged from the sub. Let's turn it on, just make sure it's still working and it didn't blow. Yeah, look at that. We are good. Woo! Also, guys, look at all that smoke just bellowing out of here. Oh my goodness. Next up, time to show y'all just how incredibly easy it is to recone these things and how fast it is. We've got a timer over here so we can see exactly how much time it takes, but you don't really need much. First off, I have a 5/30 seconds hex bit or Allen bit. I also have an extension over here just to make my life easier. Now I'm going to be using an impact drill, of course. Guys, obviously be super careful doing this. You don't want to strip out any screws, but all we got to do is take out these 8 screws along the top. There's an 8 screws along the bottom, and then we'll be able to pop this guy out and drop the new one in. So let's start the timer and see how long it takes. And we are done. All right, of course, it shut off on me, guys, but it was just over 11 minutes. I'm sure somebody more experienced could probably knock it out quicker. I did take my time just to make sure everything was good. So the hardest part was when you push all the little pins through, you got to kind of bend them into the middle, make sure the cone sits over on top of them. First time I stuck it in there, one of them stuck out to the side. Wouldn't go inside the coil. So anyway, hey, that was my first time doing it, and super easy, not bad at all. Well, Basehead family, that is part 2 of the review of this guy. Of course, in part 1, doing all the normal tests that we do, which are still pretty brutal. This guy did awesome. Here in part 2, hey, pushed it above and beyond. Not sure what happened. I don't see anything, but something did come loose to where it was making a really bad rattling sound. That being said, still it took over 3,000 watts for over a minute to finally get this guy to blow. You can see right here, again, most of the coil, guys, hey, it didn't go crazy. It didn't unravel, but you can't see right there. But you can see right there where it started to melt. Overall, very, very impressive coil. Very impressive sub. I have really, really enjoyed testing this thing out. And just the fact, again, that you can fix these things so quick and so easy is really, really cool. Baseheads, thank you all so much. Y'all are the reason I got to test out this sub on the channel. Of course, huge thank you to Kicker as well for sending it. And of course, Alfred Audio for sponsoring the channel. That's going to do it for this video. Remember, as always, guys, keep basing on.